Alright, so I've got my new Bosch narrowband installed. Went ahead and washed the engine because it was filthy. Hadn't washed it in a while, so she looks really nice. Really, there's not a drop of oil anywhere. Oh, and then because I was bored as hell, went ahead and waxed the whole car. Yeah, waxed the whole car. I haven't done that in maybe 5 years. 5 years. And then, because I was bored as hell on this T4 engine, went ahead and cleaned up the whole thing. Oh, she looks really nice now. She's looking really nice. And, yeah. Oh, then I replaced this guy. I had an extra one. And the other one was all beat up. It looks all janky and ugly and rusty, and just it looked like cruddy. And I knew this was brand new. I just never used it. It's just been in a box for the last 15 years. But it's exactly the same number back here. It's got the same numbers that the other one had. That looks a lot better than the other one. It just looked all cruddy. And yeah, this Type 4, for those of you who don't know, this Type 4 is from a Porsche 914. It is, you know, all handmade. Everything is just handmade and adapted to this engine, except for the flywheel, which is, you know, you can get that at Fat Performance for like really cheap. If you get it anywhere else, they'll rip you off. As far as the Serpentine system, that is the same thing that's in your Type 1 Scat, you know, Serpentine system. The difference is I just used this from a Honda Prelude, 89 Honda Prelude 2.0 timing belt. That's where you can get this. This one has a cut. The bearing has a slit, so this thing can slide in and out, so you can get your tightness correct. So anyways, and this is slightly machined. I did machine it. There is a video you guys can go see down there. There is a video down there on how I did that. And if you ever do something like this from using a scat system, make sure you grab the one that doesn't have the holes, these holes. Get the one that's solid like this down here. That way you won't have problems where you're missing, see? You're missing little pieces. But it still grabs on pretty good. I've been all over the place. So this thing already has maybe, oh God, maybe 4,000 miles on this thing so far. Because I've driven it everywhere. I mean, go to LA, go to Pismo Beach, go to everywhere. Anyway, she's running really good. As far as the Weber IDFs, these are clones. They're not real. They're not real. Well, something's there. Looks real to me. Anyways, no, they're clones. They're China clones. They were, I think, $120 a piece or something like that. Now, the jetting for this 2.0, which is bone stock engine, the stocker, it's a stocker. The jetting on this is now 52 millimeter idles. Yeah, 52 millimeter idles. And 130 mains. The air corrector is at 250. Yeah, 250. I said 250. That's not a typo or a dyslexic thing. 250 on the air correctors. The Venturis, I'm going to have to do something about that. They're not working out very well. I'll get into it later on. Anyways, Type 4 engine. I do recommend the mod. The mod, the upright conversion. This is actually something that I just had a lot of fun with. So Type 4 engine, and runs really good. There is also another video for all you new guys that shows you how I made this Sidewinder. This used to be a Porsche Impy exhaust system. Porsche exhaust Impy system. That just, you know, it went out straight out. You know, it would just come from here out, stick out like that. And it was just annoying because I was rubbing everywhere. And since I've done this, I've never ever bottomed out anywhere. And before I was bottoming out all the time. So Okay, this is a Porsche 2.0. It is running with an extra cooler. You can see the fan back there. These are the oil lines. It does have a sandwich. Now, on some videos back, several months ago, I was going to install a pressure regulator, or no, I'm sorry, bypass valve or thermostat right here. But then I did some part number. I can't see the part number on this. The part number on here says that it has a a temperature valve already installed, a thermostat valve, and I think this is a 220. I'm sorry, a 210. That's why my oil temperature only hits 209 and it just stays there and it doesn't go any further, because at that temperature it's fully opened and that fan keeps the oil cooler or the oil temperatures under 210. Under 210. So yeah, so that's why I never installed that oil thermostat that I bought. Never installed it because I figured out, I did not know that. Yeah, thermostat already built into this sandwich. So, and let's see. Yep, that's pretty much it. I'm just showing you this because, there's a lot of new guys that are signed up on the channel. They have no idea what the hell is going on here. This is where I'm running the oil cooler. The stock oil cooler in the stock location. I have come to the conclusion that you can probably run your T1 oil cooler here instead of the T4 oil cooler. Just cut this to the appropriate size, when you make your own ducts. There are many ways you can get air to here. You can get it from this thing, and that's what I did. It just has a pipe going from here to this side, which is this side, just here. It comes out like that. It's not getting it from here. It's just, anyway. So, or you could just get it from here. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. Just make sure you get a nice curve so you have a nice transition, sucking the air down. The only thing that I had to do to fit this type 4 oil cooler was actually cut this right here. Oops. Cut it right here. Like section, 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 section. Mallet, bang, 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 made the room. Then installed the oil cooler right there. No problem. Reinstalled my thing before I installed the oil cooler, and it was no big deal. Other thing that I do recommend, make those access panels on the side. Definitely, it is a lifesaver because I've been switching out jets in and out, and then these are notorious for plugging up the idles. I've had that happen twice so far since I've been driving with this. So within the last year and a half, it's happened twice already, and that is a lifesaver. Just going through the side, take it out, just clean it, put it back in, and you're done. Simple as that. This, you're gonna need some sort of a oil catch can. But it's up to you, whatever you want to do. I just did it this way because I was just bored, I just be creative, create this, whatever. It is not necessary to hook up to here. Not necessary. Okay, so you don't have to do that. You could just get one of these Edelbrock thing. These are from V8s, from a V8. So just install it on your thing. It has little vents on the bottom. That's how you vent all the air that builds up right here, and the oil just returns back down to this guy. Now this is also a stock item. It came with the Porsche engine. I just reused it. I just made a hole on the alternator stand. You can get the alternator stand already built with this. Depends what you go with. You can go with Type 4. Type 4 store already has it right here. The other one, you have to do it over here underneath the engine. There's a hole that you have to bolt up a little chromey thing right there. There's so many things that you can do, whatever. Anyways, let's just go with my Y-band, see how that's looking. But first, we fix my stereo. She blew up. My subwoofer actually kind of blew up. Oh man. Yeah, my speaker. She kind of, literally, she blew up. See? Literally blew up. So I'm just trying to see if the voice coil is toasted or not. So I got my multimeter on.
And I already checked the continuity. Should be 4 ohms. This is a 4 ohm speaker. I got nothing. So what I did, I just checked to see if these contacts right here, let me turn on the light. Yeah, much better. See if these contacts right here are good, because usually they fry right here, right there. So I went ahead and did this, like probed it from there and from there, and I had 4 ohms. So I'm like, aha! So I determined it's this one right here, the connection right here. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of solder right here. That should fix my problem. I should get my speaker back. Yeah, they don't make them like this anymore. This is 98 decibels at 1 watt. Right now, 12 inches. They use brute force to get the same sound quality out of these. So, whatever. The new ones are usually run like, the better ones like 92 decibels at 1 watt. This one's 98 decibels at 1 watt. I mean, look at the size of this magnet. Whoa. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and solder it right there. I got my, yeah, about 4 ohms, pretty close to 4 ohms. So I just resoldered everything. She's going back, man. She's going back. She's back in. Yeah, I just want to see if it sounds good. Okay, we don't need to go excessive on that. Yeah, she's back to normal. Yeah, let's get to what we were talking about. The Venturis on the 44 IDFs, 32 millimeter Venturis. I'm having second thoughts. I'm actually thinking we shouldn't have gone 32s. I had read an article that said that the 44 IDF carburetor will not work correctly with 32 millimeters Venturis. I do not know if that is still correct, but I'm still messing around with it and I'm trying to figure out if this is correct. So I might have to upgrade to 34 millimeter Venturis or just go back to the 36s. What I suspect is there's too much vacuum when you're cruising and you reach the RPM range of about 36 to 4,000 RPMs. There's too much suction. Anyways, this is my wideband. Narrowband, I'm sorry, narrowband, the new narrowband. Let me turn the key so you can see it. There she is. This is lean, this is optimal or stoich, and this is rich. And what's happening is when I'm cruising on the freeway, you know, I get really good gas mileage with my 52s. I'm sorry, my 50s. I'm getting almost 30 miles to the gallon. As so long as I don't go above 70 miles an hour. If I keep it at 65 all the time, I'll be around right here, right there. RPMs are probably around 2,800 RPMs. And once I go like to 80 or 85, it goes all the way to the middle of rich, right here. And it stays there. So I'm gonna try a couple of things more, like drop the mains down to 118s. 118s is an odd number, I know that, because I just don't have a drill that's exactly 115 or 120, so I use 118. So I want to see what happens. I'm just gonna run it like that, see if I still have the rich condition when I do 85. Oh my god, look at that. Oh lordy lordy. Woo! That is hot. 106. So we'll see what my temperature becomes. It's probably gonna be like 209 or less than that, believe it or not. Fahrenheit. Okay. Yeah, I gotta fix my subwoofer again. I blew it up again. I gotta do a more permanent repair. It's interesting. Just got out of the freeway. I'm almost home. Look at the temperature gauge. I was doing 90 all the way. 90 all the way without just following traffic. Following traffic. That's as hot as it got in 106 weather. 106 degree weather. Anyways, I'm still screwing around with my jets. The main jets. I'm still going thinner. I got 118s. Yeah, I said 118s, not a typo. I'm probably gonna go smaller. Probably a 110. Okay, I'm home. All right, that was a hell of a hot ride. Yeah, like I said,
I went down on the mains from 130s to 118s, and I did notice that the gauge that would go right to the center of rich actually now goes to about a quarter way down to rich. So I'm like, okay, we're on the right track. So what I'm thinking, because remember, I'm running the air correctors at 250, because when I was increasing the air correctors higher and higher, I had an improvement on my fueling on the narrowband. It was actually climbing a little bit and climbing a little bit every time I went higher and higher. But that's only because I was pushing the fuel up higher into the RPM range. So that got me another, I think, about 5 to 8 miles more before it went into the rich section on the wideband or narrowband. So now I went to 118s. So I'm going to drop my air correctors from 250s. I know that's a lot of numbers. I'm probably confusing all of the hell out of you. Maybe I'll grab a graph and just write what I had, and this is where we're moving, because this is probably just going through one ear, going in through one ear and out the other. Anyways, but in short, I'm gonna go to 110s on these IDS for the mains. I mean, I've never heard of anybody running anything smaller than 130s. And now I'm at 110s with these very tiny Venturis, 32 millimeter Venturis. And I'm thinking that's what's causing it. The Venturi itself is so tiny that it's causing a lot of suction and it's pulling a lot of fuel. Because I already checked my floats and I know they're perfect. They're at 14 millimeters. And that's the other thing I was thinking about. Maybe if I lower the fuel bowl even lower, increase my setting on the fuel bowl setting down to, instead of 14, maybe 16 millimeters, so that the fuel bowl doesn't fill up as much, and then it sucks less fuel, less rich condition, or I'm just going to screw it up really bad. And that's the thing I don't want to do. I just, I'm thinking I'm going to go to 110s, and then I'm going to drop my, my air correctors to maybe 180s. Yeah, about 180s. That'll close up the gap, so it doesn't have that dry spot or flat spot. It doesn't really have a flat spot. It just feels like it just doesn't have power in the transition. It doesn't have power. I mean, it still pulls pretty good. But once I get to like 4,000 RPMs, it pulls like mad with the 118s. I'm like, wait a minute. If I was running lean, it shouldn't pull all the way up to 6,000 RPMs like mad. You know what I mean? So I'm on the right track. So I'm going to go to 110s and probably 105s. Yeah, that low. Oh my God. But, and then, I'll just adjust the air corrector as we go. I'm going to shut up. Let's get to it before we mess around with the Venturis. If anything, at the very least, I'm going to open my Venturis, take them out, and open up the Venturis to 34 millimeters. I know 34 millimeters should work with this setup, this 2.0 liter Type 4 engine, bone stock engine. It's, okay, what? I'm going to shut up now. All right, so this is the best I could come up with trying to explain what's going on. 44 IDF with 32 millimeter Venturi. Okay, so what I think is happening, because these originally come with 36s, okay, that would be a 36 instead of a 32. So 36 is bigger, 32 is a lot smaller, the opening. So on the carburetor, what I'm thinking is happening, it's developing too much vacuum, and it's just pulling a lot of fuel. Because I have never ever heard of any IDF carburetor with a 2-liter engine, running anything below that. If this was 34 or 36, it would be something like this. But this is a 32, therefore it actually is smaller. And here's the thing. This line, the idle jet, like this, it should continue kind of like this. Like right there. Kind of like sorry. Kind of like that. And I'm getting a fat section right here. So what I've been doing with the, with the air correctors going to 250s, I actually just moved this piece, like I did something like that, so that there was a kind of like a flat spot, but not really a flat spot, kind of like still had power, but this didn't get richer until I got to a higher RPM. Then, which gave me like 5 miles more, 5 to 8 miles more on the freeway, running leaner, closer to normal. And then all of a sudden it gets over here above this RPM and it goes super rich. So now that I'm running a 118, it's somewhere like right there. It's getting better. Well, actually a little bit more lower than that. It's getting better. So this would be 118 over here. But I've already lowered my, my air correctors. So now this is actually straighter. Like straighter, a little bit straighter. So that flat spot is disappearing. So now this is actually a little bit straighter, but I'm still too rich. I need to bring it down to like something like right here for the main, so that it's as straight as possible without having a flat spot right here. This is where I would fix the air corrector situation. But I don't know what I'm going to end up with the air corrector. I'm thinking I'm going to end up with about 180, maybe 200. But that's the best way I can explain this. There is no information for what jets to run. So this is why I'm having a lot of trouble. I don't even know if this is normal. I mean, who has ever heard of a jet needing to be, like 110, 105 for a main on a 44 IDF for a 2-liter? Seriously? I might actually need help with my friend, Guru. I might ask for help. It's very few times that I ask for help, but I might have to ask for help. But touch base with him and see what he thinks. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm gonna lower my mains. I'm gonna drop them down to about the main jet. It's gonna be like 105. I'm thinking 105 more or less, and that should get me closer to what I need. Maybe 110, 105. But right now, 50 idles, they're fine for a 2-liter. I already went ahead and soldered them. Remember? I was going to drop them to below either 110s or 105s. Well, I went 110s. I went ahead and soldered them. The mains, all 4 of them. These are all done. For mains, because they don't, they're pretty big. They're not too exact like the idles. They're really tiny. I don't see any problem with just using solder and on a blowtorch to do this. So this is more or less how they look. They're 110s millimeters for the idles. I'm sorry, for the mains. Finishing the last one for the air correctors. I already did all these. Already did these. So I'm working on my last one. I already soldered it. I'm just going to drill it. In the middle of drilling it, actually. So all I'm doing is I do it like this. I just spin it. If you try doing it any other way, it'll make a crooked hole, and it's not gonna look pretty. So this is how I do it. Otherwise, I'd be spending so much money on jets, it wouldn't even be funny. Let me show you. This is all the jets I've crossed out. I mean, look at that. See, 110 for the main, and 185 for the air corrector. That would be this one. See all the ones that I've crossed out. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, 180. We're back to 185s. So, oh yeah, and I did upgrade my my idles to back to the 52s, because it starts like crap. I mean, it just starts like crap when the engine is cold. They're like, bap, 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 you know what I mean? And I was like, I just don't want to deal with that. It's kind of embarrassing. So it seems to run better with 52s, like when it's cold. So 52s it is. So now we changed that too. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is how I do it. So I'm trying to keep it so you guys can see what I'm doing. Try to keep it as straight as you can. I probably gotta cover you guys up. I felt it already hit the bottom. So now I'm just gonna do this. Okay, she went through. See? She's through. I'm gonna clean out all the debris. Like so. Go all the way down to the shaft where it's nice and clean. That way you know you can use it as a gauge. And it feels really nice and tight. Perfect. There is no slop whatsoever. Now, we're gonna ream the top. And I just grab a bigger jet, or a bigger drill. And with my hand, I just do this. Just to fix it. See? Gives it a really nice transitioning. Same thing in here. I always check in here. And then one last time with this one, just to make sure we didn't have any flash covering up the edges. And she feels nice. Then we just grab some compressed air, blow it through. I can actually see inside, so I'm still gonna blow it out. Yeah, one more time, and that should do it. I'm gonna look into the light to make sure that it was clean. It looks clean. And oops, and just put it in, and I'm done. I'm done with my jets. So we dropped our correctors to 185s and our mains down to 110s. I already went on CB Performance, CoolNet, and AA Performance, and the smallest they offer is a 110. So I'm just gonna go with 110. It should theoretically work. 110. I think because these are clones, also there could be some manufacturing defect, and it's not right. And this is why I'm having to drop these down all the way down. Now I don't know if it's gonna work. Honestly, I don't know if it's gonna work. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'll just go back and we'll start from square one. All right. So never give up. That is pretty much it. Adios, muchachos.